10 years ago, a young man called Laszlo in the States ordered 2 large pizzas from Papa John's, and he needed 10,000 bitcoins to settle his $30 bill. Guess how much these bitcoins are worth today? Over $500 million. Ouch. Recently, Tesla joined PayPal, Microsoft, and others to accept payment in Bitcoin. Looking at the current price, 1 Bitcoin is probably all you need to bring a Tesla home. Bitcoin price is known to be volatile, but with the newfound support from mainstream corporations and investors, will it be smoother sailing from now on? My feeling is that we may be in for a few more twists and turns. One big shadow hanging over Bitcoin is China. The Chinese government has been actively preparing for a major crypto battle, which may very well be its last-ditch effort to dominate the world and hold on to power in China. How the West, particularly the US, responds will decide the future of Bitcoin, and more importantly, who is going to come out on top, a totalitarian state or Western democracies. I'm Sharon, and this is Straight Talk. Before we look into China's moves, let me give you a quick rundown of what Bitcoin is. This beautiful fancy image is all over the place, but real Bitcoin looks nothing like this. On its best day, well, actually any day, it looks more like this. Bitcoin is basically a combination of zeros and ones generated virtually by computer software. Think of the Bitcoin system as a computer game of treasure hunt. Based on the rules written by whoever designs the game, you get rewarded with gold and gems after completing certain tasks. Same with Bitcoin. It can be created by anyone from anywhere, as long as the person manages to produce the right sequence that meets the specs set by the system. People run super complex calculations on computers in order to get them right. This process is known as mining, like the mining of gold. The system limits the number of new Bitcoins to 21 million. So everyone is working hard to find these coins by running calculations on computers 24/7. Currently, there are roughly 2.5 million Bitcoins left. After that, you can only get Bitcoin through trading. You may have heard the term blockchain. This is the technology that Bitcoin system runs on. Details of every Bitcoin transaction that has ever taken place are stored in the blockchain. It is called blockchain because processing is done in batches or blocks. Those blocks are then linked to each other, creating a chain of blocks. So blockchain, get it? Bitcoin blockchain is a public blockchain, meaning it is decentralized and no single organization controls it. Everything that is validated on the Bitcoin blockchain cannot be altered. This security makes it possible for people to send and receive coins directly without having to go through a bank, which normally charges a hefty fee. This, by the way, is a big reason banks don't like cryptos. They lose a good source of revenue and are becoming irrelevant in the process as cryptos gain popularity. So, how does China come into play relating to the cryptos? Well, it is no secret that China has never been a fan of Bitcoin. As early as 2013, the Chinese government banned all financial institutions from dealing in Bitcoin. In 2017, the government shut down all crypto exchanges within its borders. The ban was hardly a surprise. Bitcoin is decentralized, resistant to surveillance and censorship. The technology makes it possible for Chinese to bypass the country's strict exchange control and move their wealth to a safer destination. If this happens on a large scale, the Chinese economy will not hold. But China did not just stop at the ban, it went on the offense. One of the things China decided to do was to develop the Digital Yuan, which is a cryptocurrency that is fully controlled by the government, from creation to transaction processing. It was launched recently in 5 cities as a trial after years of preparation. The other thing was more subtle until recently. Remember that I just mentioned that China shut down the crypto exchanges in the country in 2017? Interestingly, the government kicked those companies out of the country, but helped all of them from behind the scenes to expand overseas aggressively. These companies went on to become the largest crypto exchanges in the world. If you look at the chart of the largest crypto exchanges by volume, most of them are run by Chinese companies. Binance, Huobi, OK Exchange, and Bitforex, just to name a few. It almost felt as though they weren't really kicked out, but rather were sent out by China to the wider world to do whatever they were tasked to do. Take a look at what happened to Huobi. In June 2018, a few months after it left China, Huobi announced an ambitious project, the Huobi Chain project. The project was to create the most technologically advanced public blockchain for individuals, organizations, and governments around the world. It can handle a wide variety of events, from trading to fundraising to securitization. The platform sounded like a one-stop shop. Huobi repeatedly emphasized that the platform will be decentralized. Yet, at the same time, it said it will be regulatable by design. Can you really be decentralized and regulatable at the same time? Does it imply that there will be a way to collect personal data from the platform? Huobi refused to give more details on this. Miles Kuo, a well-connected Chinese billionaire in exile, accused Huobi of being a project put together by Chinese intelligence in one of his live broadcasts a few days ago. He claimed that he had proof which had been turned over to the US authorities. While I have no way to confirm if his allegation is correct, its regulatable nature and Huobi being so closely connected to the Chinese government do worry me. How close is Huobi to the Chinese government? Huobi set up an advisory board for this Huobi Chain project. Many prominent pro-Beijing investors are on it, including Randy Zuckerberg, Mark Zuckerberg's older sister. Sometimes you wonder why Mark Zuckerberg is still so friendly with the Chinese government when they have kept out Facebook for so many years. I guess things like this help answer the question. Anyway, this team of investors is not something that a company that got kicked out of China could pull off on its own. But you can say so far it's just my suspicion. Things became a lot clearer after the infrastructure of the Huobi chain was completed, and it was time to sign up users. Guess what happened then? Huobi signed an agreement with China's Belt and Road Initiative to create a blockchain-based financial network for countries participating in the initiative. For those who don't know what the Belt and Road Initiative is, it is a pet project of President Xi Jinping's to extend political and economic influence through trading and debt financing. The initiative is also known as debt trap diplomacy. Huobi used the new public blockchain to assist the Argentine government to distribute pension payments to 16 million people. They are also working on projects with more governments, including Russia, Thailand, Turkey, Gibraltar, and Nigeria. So it is no longer suspicion. Huobi was working with the Chinese government to set up a sophisticated global crypto platform to put up another fight for world dominance. You know, over the last couple of years, Western countries have recovered some of the lost ground with China. China suffered defeat on the traditional technology front as giant tech companies like Huawei and ZTE were banned in many countries. Western democracies have rallied together against the communist regime for its appalling human rights abuses. Globally, Chinese propaganda no longer works like before. Many projects under the Belt and Road Initiative have ground to a halt. But China's moves in the field of blockchain, if unchecked, may reverse the course, particularly when the power of the global platform and the digital yuan is combined. At the same time, they will have first-mover advantage by setting the technical standards and attracting users. This would allow China to speed up its de-dollarization. The Chinese government has always been troubled by the domination of the US dollar and its powerful SWIFT payment system. If the US decides to sanction China by cutting Chinese banks off from SWIFT, China's international trade will be severely crippled. There have been calls for Washington to do just that. So it is high on China's agenda to decouple from the dollar. Their efforts have not made waves until now. The rollout of the digital yuan, the regulatable public blockchain, the Belt and Road Initiative, are now coming together as China's last effort to dominate the world. If the digital yuan takes over, if the blockchain project takes off, and if the West doesn't have an effective response, China will be the final arbiter of who gets connected and plays within the system. What a terrible prospect. When that happens, we can forget about the supply chain, we can forget about sanctioning China or Iran or North Korea, because the Chinese government will have direct control of the blood flow of most of the countries, their money. The 2022 Winter Olympic Games is coming up early next year. Plans are underway in China already to use this opportunity to introduce the digital yuan to the world as thousands of athletes and visitors from nearly 100 countries gather in Beijing. What do you think the West should do? Let me know in your comments down below. We will stop it here for today. Please do share it and like it if you have enjoyed the video. More importantly, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification. Thank you for watching and see you next time.